Now, one of the things that we know is that in the fast growing EV industry, NIO has been one of the cars that is doing exceptionally well when it comes to deliveries. But on the other hand, you've got companies like Xpeng who have not been performing the way their investors or the way they wanted to. I mean, on average, you've been seeing this year Xpeng delivering like 10,000 vehicles on a month to month. It is only last month where we saw the deliveries of Xpeng getting to at least over 14,000 deliveries, and this was because of the new model which they launched called the Mona 3, or the mid-sedan they launched called the Mona 3. And the reason why I'm talking about Xpeng is, well, they just took a 180 degrees turn, and from next year in the second half they will be selling hybrid cars. So they are going to be introducing hybrid cars in their models, and they are going to start delivering an SUV in the second half of 2025. Now this is quite a shock. I don't know if whether the reason behind this is because of the low sales that they've been experiencing, and therefore they are trying out or do whatever they can to sell as much or to grow their delivery so much. I mean, they could have done something else. They could have maybe started focusing on, maybe, I don't know, invest into premium EVs. I don't know, they would get a market share, but instead they decided to go the Li Auto way, and that is to go and start producing hybrid cars. It is quite shocking because this right now puts up just sort of like making you to be the one or the last man standing in at least some of the old EV Chinese companies. I mean, this is not good for Xpeng. Like I said, it is really interesting to know why are they doing this. Why did they decide to go to hybrid? Is it because companies like Li Autos are selling pretty good decent figures on hybrids? Why is that? I mean, one of the questions why I'm a bit confused is that China is in a transition of going to a full EV dominated country, and Xpeng wanting to come now and start producing hybrid cars. I wonder if they are not too late, or I wonder if they are going to get the kind of sales they want to generate from that. Because I mean, let's face it, BYD, Li Auto, those companies are already known that they are selling hybrid cars, and I must say they are doing pretty well in that segment. But when it comes to full EVs are the future of China. Hybrid are just helping people that are not yet comfortable buying full EVs to transition. But at the end of the day, what the long-term plan is, people are going to switch into full EVs. And seeing Xpeng wanting to join the parade of hybrid cars, it makes me wonder why the reason, or why are they doing this late? Because if they wanted to do or to produce hybrid, they should have started maybe 2-3 years back. And seeing them starting this or wanting to get the piece of the pie in hybrids, it makes me wonder what's the reason. Like I said, they launched a new mid as sedan called Mona 3, which orders apparently they are doing pretty good, which therefore it shows that that model has got a potential. That model is going to bring them some breakthroughs. But as for why they are going to hybrid again, it's a question that is, yeah, to me, I really don't know why they're doing that. I mean, it shows you of how fierce the competition in the fast growing EV industry in China is. Xpeng sells way cheaper cars than NIO. I mean, for Xpeng to generate the kind of revenues that NIO generates through one model, they have to sell almost 2 cars to get the kind of revenues that NIO generates with one model. And still with that, they are not selling the kind of deliveries, the kind of sales that NIO is generating. There must be something that NIO is doing, and there is something that, of course, NIO is doing much better than Xpeng. And I mean, it just boils down to that. And to see them trying out these markets or trying out different things, it shows you of how desperate they want those sales, how important they want to see themselves delivering pretty good, decent deliveries. To me, my opinion, this might be like a desperate move, I can say, for Xpeng to try to make sure that at least they get or they continue seeing their sales growing. Because as it stands, like I said, year to date, they have not been doing that well. 14,000 I think is the most they've done this year in terms of sales, which therefore it shows you that they are struggling. It shows you that they are not doing that well, and therefore they need to come up with turnaround strategies, which maybe going to hybrid is one of the turnaround strategy to make sure that they scoop or they get more sales. Whereas on companies like NIO, premium brands like NIO, we are seeing them doing exceptionally well. I mean, like I said, for an Xpeng to generate the kind of revenues that NIO, for instance, generates with one ES8 sale or one ET7 sale, they have to sell 2 of their cars to get to the kind of revenues that NIO is generating per model. I mean, NIO right now, it's going to be launching an SUV that is going to chow a lot of Xpeng, Tesla, Model Y sales because of the price range. I mean, price range ONVO L60 is at, I must say, it is similar to the price range of your Xpeng the SUVs, or same range as your Tesla Model Y, and therefore it is going to bring some fierce competition there. So part of the reason why maybe Xpeng might be doing this might be because they are seeing that competition is becoming more tense, and companies like NIO are going to gain more market share. And I think one of the things that is really helping NIO, over and above all that NIO is doing, it's popularity, the kind of popularity that NIO is gaining not only in China but globally. It is just out of this world. It is part of the reason why they are winning battery swapping station. It is the reason why NIO is winning the market share. Technology, after sales services, it is part of the reason why NIO is winning the market share. I mean, if Xpeng, who's currently selling models around 250,000 RMB, struggling to sell 20,000, but NIO having an average model price of 350 to 400,000 RMB average when it comes to their model, selling 20,000, it has to show you the kind of a company NIO it's becoming. I think a lot of people, even the market, it is starting to realize the potential that lies within the NIO stock. And unfortunately, because of the fair competition, there are some of the companies that in the long term they are going to die. In the long term, they are going to really need serious assistance to keep them running, because competition in China is very fierce. I mean, if you can imagine, if companies like your Mercedes, BMW, all these popular old brands are complaining about the competition that is in China, or are really feeling the heat or on the competition that they are seeing in China, you can imagine what some of the Chinese brands, especially the ones that are not that popular. I mean, it shows you that for companies to survive in this competition, there are quite a number of things that they need to do. And I think the CEO of NIO has been clear. The service for the brand has to be perfect. The technology has to be top-notch. And of course, this will bring in and drive sales into, of course, or will be one of the things that leads, or recipe that leads into some of these EV makers to last longer. I mean, if you're still thinking that NIO is going to be one of the companies that at the end of the day in the long term are just going to die, you have to think again, because NIO, it's a monster, it's a giant in the making. NIO has showed us some of their massive breakthroughs, and it is just the beginning of what we might see in the future. I mean, battery swapping station technology in itself, that technology, not only is it attracting or making people talk a lot in China, but it is also attracting people outside of China. Everyone wants to see themselves driving an EV car and going into NIO's battery swapping station and swap the battery in their car. That technology in itself is just out of this world, and therefore it is one of the reasons why a lot of people are interested in buying the NIO cars. It is the reason why NIO has been stealing the market share, or has been winning the market share in the premium EV space from your competitors like Mercedes-Benz, competitors like BMW, and all these luxury brands, which is something that will make them stay strong, remain relevant, and flourish even in the future. So yeah, tell me what you think about this move by Xpeng. When I read this, I did not go deep enough, but the title, when I saw that Xpeng was going to or is considering to start selling hybrid cars by the second half of next year, yeah, I just wondered why what might be the reason Xpeng is choosing that route, but I think it boils down to the kind of sales they are seeing. Yeah, I mean, the fierce competition in China it's quite brutal, and therefore only a few will survive in the long term. And yeah, I just hope Xpeng makes it. I don't wish bad Xpeng. Yeah, I think it's a great company. I mean, they've got some good partnerships, like the recent partnership of them and Volkswagen. And yeah, I just hope things can get better for them. Otherwise, that's all from me. I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. Tell me what you think about this. Do your own due diligence before you buy any stock, including NEO, our very own favorite on this channel. So that at least you are comfortable as you are investing onto the stock market. NEO remains that EV company with the most potential because of their latest developments, because of their technology, because of what they are doing and what they are planning to do in the future. And therefore, those that are remaining long and strong will definitely be rewarded. And these are just my opinions. Otherwise, that's all from me. And God bless you all.